Awesome, so we're back. So we've changed our back to the foot. Okay, crack on with the video.
Okay. Back here, hit play, and our character is no longer trying to walk on top of its capsule. And it's already starting to conform to the ground. So in cases where the character goes off a ledge, it's going to transition out of that idle run state and into the falling state, and so you can see that it no longer tries to pull him onto the ground. But we are getting kind of some issues there where you can see he kind of goes under the ground a little bit. His feet are sinking into the ground, so we can start to sort of fix up some of these things. So I'm going to jump back into the ground node. I'm going to take a look at the feet delta smooth speed. So that's the speed that the feet will adapt to the underlying terrain. So I'm going to turn that up to 300. That should prevent you from dunking into the ground. And then we're also going to take a look. Our collision settings are all right now.
So, so this is what prevents how quickly we adapt. So let's make it 300. Let's see.
All right.
Okay, so let's just if we just make this massive, just make it huge.
Feet delta.
Yeah, I had a feeling it'd be jumpy because of it. No, it's still the case. And I think that is, again, that is because of, that's because of the animation. I think because of the motion capture, the foot moves it that way. So it's causing it to go into the, does that make sense?
Yeah, but it should override the this is done after the.
Yeah, after we got the animation, but I don't know if I think it's like because we're IKing that one bone. I don't know if it's because of that. It's the toe is the heel is IK'd and the heel keeps off the ground, but I don't know if the toe is just behaving separately to it.
Okay, let's keep going on this video. I think
Yeah.
it makes some other point.
We're going to take a look at the slope settings, okay? So there's a lot of stuff going on in here. You'll need to be checking the documentation to get a full description of
recording.
Yeah, I'm recording. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still recording again. I started it again. Yeah, I think this might be it.
everything that's going on here. But it's essentially broken into sections where you can choose to scale the stride of the character, to have the character lean into and out of uphill and downhills. You can have a counter lean bone. So this is like in the case of bipeds. You know, if they're going downhill, they'll typically tilt their head down to look down the hill, and vice versa. That's what counter leaning means. You can also move the root of the character up and down, depending on whether they're going up or down a hill or on a side hill.
That one is the key, right?
In this case, what we're going to do is rotate the foot to the ground.
Yeah, you literally said
Oh,
that's what
it
we're
does.
gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah.
and I'm going to offset the feet a little bit to get them out of the ground. So I'm going to hit compile,
That's what it is.
go back here, and now when we stand on the hill, you can
Yeah.
see our feet are conforming to it,
It looks a bit
and
silly,
that
but
offset
yeah,
is
yeah,
pushed
it does what it
those feet
says.
out of the ground. So that's just a static offset that you will have to kind of noodle a little bit. Right now it's set to 4 centimeters. If we set that to 0.
Okay.
Okay, so let's play around with that. But that was it basically. That's this. I think is just when it's adjust the speed to change in positions. Here it's in our slope. Yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot to experiment with here.
Yeah, there's lots of lean and counter lean. Probably we
Lean,
want some of that.
stride, yeah. How
Probably
he
quite
wants it,
subtle, but
orientation of it, yeah. For now, we'll do rotate foot to ground. We can look at how much we roll. Wow, this this is great. And then offset foot position, which I think is what brings it out of the like. You know how normally
yeah,
it's sunk, but
yeah,
I
because
don't
the
think it
shoe
needs to
has
be this
close.
high, that high. But we just go one. Um, so we just
Oh, crazy.
oh there we go. It's because I already got it for the idle, so it's doing it. Oh, it is so. Nah, you're right. Changing it twice is actually really annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure why it does that.
The like flick of the knee.
That's crazy. Yeah, you need to be quite careful.
The knee, yeah, the knee has a bit of a.
Isn't that like a control ring sort of like issue? Because we just need to say do not bend any backward, right?
Yeah. Um.
Because if there are no constraints, then it's
Ah. Here we go. That's it. List of custom directions. These are constraints for bones to bend in X limits. So this is how much your bone can bend. So you could be like, this joint can only rotate so far.
yeah. But isn't that included in the control rig?
Hmm. I would think
Which
so.
we don't have yet, right?
Yeah.
So let's maybe that is if you don't have a control rig
Control.
assigned.
Yeah. I'll watch through here and see.
Yeah, that's
You know,
it's almost at
hit
the end. So
compile
let's see what
and
we
go
get.
back. You'll see his foot is now sinking back into the ground a little bit. I found that for the mannequin, the default setting of 4 tends to be enough to kind of get a good result. When it comes to the rotation, you have separate control over the pitch and roll, where pitch is sort of in the direction of the hill and roll is sideways. I find that reducing the roll helps prevent the feet from kind of looking like the ankles are breaking. But there you can see now he's fully conforming to the.
So it said reducing the roll helps prevent the feet from breaking. So let's drop 0.3. That's in the run. 0.3. That looks a lot better in terms of like the feet,
Yeah, the feet are
but
better. Yeah,
the see that looks really good.
yeah.
But it's I think the knees are rotating in certain ways that we just don't want them to. Could be because of the position of the root and things. But let me see if maybe uh, move the root or add a leaning.
Yeah, but that is on the upper body, right? But what that move root does?
This is gradually pushed vertically and horizontally based on how you're going up the slope. So I'm thinking maybe because of that, like the pelvis isn't pushed up, so that might be why those knees are going a bit crazy. But they do when they're moving here. So no. Oh no, that helps. That gives you the bobble. Oh, do you see what I
Right.
mean? That having that is what makes you look like you're taking steps. You know when you have it, you like
Yeah.
a little bubble.
But the thing I don't still understand of this is like the um the reason why we want to use foot decay is just we want to plant the feet uh in certain um like situations.
Yeah.
But if we run it on the whole motion matching feet, like how the feet are not always plant on the ground. Like, shouldn't we run this node only if the feet needs to be on the ground?
On the ground.
Like
Yeah.
when it makes actually the actual step.
Yeah, because I know what you mean. Because when we did it our way, um, obviously it just kept the feet on the ground, but logically that makes sense. Like in terms of what we want to achieve from the IK, no? Like it makes sense for the feet to if we keep it, if we're running it all the time, it makes sense for it to always be kept to the ground. Um, so I'm actually with you. I'm kind of confused as to why that isn't permanently planted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Um, hmm, I'm not actually sure. Actually, uh, yeah, I don't actually get it. I'm confused because why? How come he can run?
Yeah.
Yeah, the feet should just always be on it, but we can lift the foot up.
Usually you you use IK just for plants. You don't use IK for when it's like here, when it's performing an animation, you don't um you don't really use IK.
I am confused as to why it's able to pull it to the ground, but not put it to the ground while it wants to go up. Like I'm with you. I'm a bit confused as why it's not always pulling it to the ground. Um,
Because the only thing that I can think of is like it gets the sort of like average, like um, it basically wants to keep the feet line on the ground as they are in the actual in the actual position of uh, on that particular animation, like position within time.
I I think I think do you know what it might be? This node, what I think it is, this node only does the IK when the foot is on the ground. If that makes sense.
Mm.
So it's like
Yeah,
the IK is
that would make
called
sense, right?
whenever. Yeah, that makes sense. So the IK is called whenever the foot touches the ground. So you know how we say we only want IK for when our hands are on the wall. This here
Yeah.
IK only occurs when the foot's on the ground. So here,
Uh,
when the foot's there, yeah.
yeah.
So when there is a collision between the foot and the ground, and that's probably dictated by the raycast offset. When that raycast has like it's null, then we're gonna do IK. So when there's a collision in terms of with the raycast, then you're going to IK the foot.
Would you go up and down the stairs? So the thing that bothers me, like when it runs, it does the IK sometimes, and yeah. See, even that thing there, okay. I really don't like it because okay, our idle animation is a little bit wrong, but it looks to me that it's way too temperamental. Like instead of having this thing, we rather have the other. Okay, I know that we need to still. I don't know, but it looks like so weird. Probably because there are too many glitches, but
Yeah, I think. Do you know what I think? I think the problem we had. I think the problem we had with our system was that we were always calling the IK,
yeah, yeah,
whereas we only wanted to call the I get it. So basically, we called it basically. Yes, that was why. That's why I was wrong. So you know we had our. Let me see if I still have it here, because I think I figured out what was wrong with what we did. I don't have it here. No, I don't. Anyway, but so you know we had our IK node, and we had the alpha value, and then we created a bool instead that would determine the alpha value for the
yeah.
So here was two bone. Yeah. So for the alpha value, instead we set this to a bool, and we said, well, we want to enable the two bone IK if this is hit, whereas that's not when we want to enable it. We only want to enable the two bone IK if the distance from the collision to the foot is 0 or something, like means that, and that means we enable IK when the foot has hit the ground, not when it's in the air, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but the foot only hits the ground perfectly if it's on a plane. If it doesn't, like, if it's on the stairs, we need to understand if, like, let's say that the distance of from the feet to the ground, let's say it's 20 centimeters.
Yeah.
It's 20 centimeters because it's playing this an animation when you put the leg forward. At some point there, right, it says, his feet are off the ground, right? So we should we should put them down. But like if the feet is distance to the ground is 0, then it means that we don't need a K because it's already 0. It's already on the ground, right?
No,
I
but
think
for
the difference
this,
is sorry.
no, sorry, no, you finish your.
Oh no, yeah, I mean I think the difficulty is to understand if the feet is on the ground on and it needs to be off the ground, like when it does those leg pull forward, or is off the ground, but it needs to be on the ground. Like, is it in the middle of two steps?
I see what you mean. Because I think because what this node here, this this ground node, this is basically saying the power IK. This is whenever the foot is on the ground, do IK. So this is IK for when your foot is on the ground, and that's why it works. What the reason why we had before, we did IK at all times.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's yeah, that's
So
I
you're
understand. Yeah.
saying we only need to do IK if not when the foot's on the ground because we already have that done by collisions, but we just need to do IK when the foot's off the ground, but we need it to be on the ground. Is that?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But couldn't? Yeah. But then we wouldn't be needing a ground IK. No, I don't know if that'd be a. It would be a ground IK because it would ground it, but
Yeah, ground IK, I think it's being a full body IK, it will just have, things like leaning the body back and forth and stuff like
yeah,
that, right? It's like, it's handy to have that one. But I think like basically we need to have more filters on when to actually do it. Because like i- if you look at the idle animation that we have, sometimes it does the IK and it shouldn't. So we need to really say, well, don't do it when you think you need to do it. Do it only when we tell you to do it. Like, for example, here, you see like that, it wants to do IK. Well, this goes completely bonkers, but
yeah. I see. I don't know if that's to do with like the collisions or something. I think that might be to do with first like collisions because I think what this is, I think this will keep IK for all movements, and this will mean that all your collision with the ground has IK. So it will always your foot will always be placed on the ground regardless of how you are. Which I don't know if that's necessarily bad because then it's like regardless of what surface we're on, we'll be carrying out IK so to make sure our foot's placed properly on the ground. Here I think there's problems with the rotation of the bones so that when we touch it, it rotates weirdly that causes it to do the weird glitch. But
yeah, maybe if we fix the glitch, it will look a
yeah,
lot more uh normal. The thing that I don't want to happen is that the IK will interfere with the fluidity of our motion
motion
capture
capture,
animation.
yeah.
Because even a little glitch, a little flake will completely destroy our, yeah, the beauty of the motion capture, the motion matching, and the motion capture, and basically all the beautiful blends that we carefully uh,
Put
like
together, yeah. I know what you mean.
curated.
Because if you already have a very good animation system, do we want to be moving it, pulling around bones? They're already
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Ah, I see. Because the idea, the reason. Oh, okay. So, because if Motion Masher picks the best bone and pose in order to make it look realistic, adding IK at that point means you're just going to move bones around.
yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
when yeah,
And maybe like this is why, yeah, I think like we need to have filters, right? I think like um um I mean this could well be a glitch, but because I quite like when it goes down and it's like and it tries to keep the balance, right?
yeah.
I mean, it's still wrong because, of course, we go the other glitches and we don't appreciate that. But let's pretend that we don't have any glitches. And it's
Yeah.
strange. Like, is it doing it? That's because we set the fly mode in
Yeah,
when we
that's yeah.
jump, and then we
When we
don't set
jump,
it
we
back.
don't set it back to yeah walking, falling and then walking. Yeah, that is why. that's again just it's just a ragdoll state. Yeah, that's to do with ragdoll states, but um, yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. You're right. To be fair, you're right because this is gonna move around the bone, and that's gonna affect all the match pose. Would we need maybe to add to the mocap, like walking on a slant?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
if
think
we
this
had that mockup, yeah,
because then because I think what's happening is he's like it's not able to the poses. I think that's why it's like the poses it's matching to then. Like we move the bones. So like when we're walking up a slant, we move the bones, but there's not necessarily a motion matched pose that's ideal for it. Whereas if there
yeah,
was, it would match to that point.
yeah. I think like, but I think if we fix the glitches, then I think then we can like we can filter it down to yeah the things that are still wrong with the new procedural position.
Yeah,
But I think now is way too glitchy to understand what is really working and what is not working.
working.
Well,
Yeah,
what will work and what it won't work anyway.
yeah. Let me finish this and then see what he says in the final bits, and then
To the uneven terrain, um, and it works just fine on moving collision as well. So from here, you could go back into that ground solver node, start playing with the leaning settings, and getting a good result. There's nothing that prevents this ground node from working with quadrupeds or even spiders, any number of limbs. You just keep adding to that list of feet and let Power IK kind of take care of how to move the whole character to conform to the underlying terrain. So the key features here are filling out your foot array with the correct name of the bone, make sure your character root is correct, check that delta smooth speed to keep the feet conforming to the terrain quickly enough so that they don't sink into it. Go ahead and play with these lean settings if you're feeling fancy, and do make sure that you set that collision channel to something appropriate, something that is blocking or is not that's ignoring the character capsule. So that's all there is to set up the Power IK ground node. Thanks for watching and have a good one.
Can we set it back to visibility in the IK trace? I just want to check that if maybe like we don't have anything that collides with and generates those glitches. Because it didn't have those glitches, right? And those makes no sense for me, right?
yeah.
Okay, the
The
knees we
knee,
know
yeah,
about it, right?
but other than that,
But
it's actually smooth,
yeah,
especially on this
exactly.
floor here. So I think yeah, you're right. It's collide. Yeah, it's very smooth here. That's actually really smooth.
Yeah, so okay, that makes much more sense right there.
And then even just resting, it doesn't do any of the weird
Of the crazy,
jumpy
yeah.
stuff. That's actually quite cool.
So if we okay, so I think we nearly got like not like something that we can use, but something that we can start to
Starts yeah to break down.
understand how we can possibly bring it forward because that is actually okay. So does it say anything about those? Those bands that
No.
I think like you, the other guy was playing with those, right? The guy that you were watching before. The
Oh, what's his name?
uh,
Because the video now.
I don't know. Search like Power IK.
Yeah, this guy here. What's his name?
It was the first
Oh,
one.
sorry, I've got it on my laptop.
Uh,
Angel V, the devlog one. Yeah.
oh yeah, I think the guy is Italian, or I don't know. It sounded like with a horrible accent like mine. and I'm very good at understanding audible accents.
However, you could have a shooter game collide, and we'll ignore our.
The best way to improve your videos? With music from Epidemic Sound. Find the perfect
Oh wait, or maybe we are. And let's go into our.
Oh yeah, there is a.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
here.
watching mine
So
as well.
bend
There is a segment, basically 60 minutes and 30 seconds, which is like knee rotation.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the I've
sorry.
just
You were.
pinged
Oh,
you.
you were. Oh, sorry. I was on the other screen.
action. So for the left leg, y is 1, but for this it should be -1. Okay.
It feel like it does the bend constraints on the actual
Okay, so now
foot,
it's
not
bending
on the knee,
properly.
right?
But
Oh
still
yeah,
it's
no,
a
but like
bit weird
the bone goes upward,
sometimes.
right? Goes from the foot to the knee, right?
That's right.
So probably that is correct.
Okay,
One
let's
thing
do
that
it
we
like
should
this.
really
So we
add
are now
to
straight
this
walk.
is like I really hate is exactly this frame. I think is completely wrong because if you are in this position, we need to detect this and we need to make it fully over, right?
Yeah.
There's no way that you can plant your
You can
feet
plant
like
your
that
foot,
and your
yeah.
body is gonna be
And yeah,
balanced.
you're not balanced at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd at least stumble. Yeah.
Yeah.
King it
Or
over
at least
here.
the other feet should do
Let's make
IK,
the
right? And should
tracking
go
a bit
towards the
The
ground.
ground. Yeah.
higher even. So let's say that it's not 60,
Oh
it's
yeah. It's because he had a really low rate cost.
75 and
Okay.
45. That's crazy numbers, but let's do it. And let's see how it looks like.
Yeah, but
Okay.
still, like, yeah, it's got the problem. Whenever it reaches
Okay,
the maximum rate cast,
Okay, right,
it's,
so
yeah,
rate
it's
cast.
gonna
Not
have
bad
this
already.
So you
problem
basically
anyway.
got to say like if the rate cost like
But
two,
now
like a
when we
rate
are
cost of
walking
200,
downstairs, he
your
will
right
do
leg and your
this
left leg. I don't know anyone who can move
crazy
that 2
thing
meters
when
apart.
he
Yeah,
falls
exactly.
down,
Just-
shaking.
it should
Yeah,
be-
make you
And
falling
our
over.
camera
Yeah.
is
Why
pretty
not?
stable
Like,
because
literally,
it's
but, like,
bounced
yeah, I
to the
don't
camera.
know.
Okay,
I
so
figure like we need a very, very soft ragdoll, right? Not some crazy explosion like we have at the
explosive, yeah,
moment, but
just like
like,
a stumble, yeah.
68
yeah, something that just leans. Or,
5
oh, shit.
times.
Falling over.
Left leg.
Yeah, what does it do there? Like, which bone does it change?
The calf. So he changes the calf.
Oh, he has. Oh, okay, he has 2 bones there. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, and he has calf, but we don't have calf, right? What we have?
No, we do.
Oh, we do. Oh yeah, we do actually. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So he goes calf. So
Yeah, I'm not sure why one is one and one is
one
minus
minus
one,
one.
but
I think that's because on the Y. Ah, so the left. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So the left calf can only bend forward.
Yeah.
Ah, that's actually quite clever because it obviously off foot, so it's gonna go foot, calf, thigh. So now the left calf, because that's the joint we hear, the bendy part, this knee, and that's what keeps flicking in and out. The left calf now can only bend forward positively. Then if we go to right calf, I presume it's reversed. Yeah. Yeah, that's why. So that's why it's minus one. So it can only bend negative that, which is this way. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, that makes total sense. That is something to experiment with as well. Actually. Yeah.
well, I lost your voice for about 20 seconds, but I think I know what you would have said. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, let's go with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Wow, that's good.
That's good. See, yeah, here, yeah, you need a lot of constraints, different like constraints in which how it bends. See, yeah, look, yeah, I think that's a different bone bending.
is the top one.
That looks crazy. Oh, it does not look right. That's going up and down. It looks so much better. Oh, do you know why it is? I hate my life.
He's got like the other guy.
Let's not talk about it. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
And like max squash iterations. Can we play with those guys as well?
Yeah.
Because I think like
Check this and see.
of course it will go slower, but if we do more iteration, I guess the solver would be more stable. Because it's still a little bit dodgy places, right? So but that looks I think like here we just need a control rig, right?
Yeah.
Which has a very good constraints, right?
See, yeah, that's crazy. Because
that food there. Yeah, with the control rig, it would never do that. Right?
Fair play. If you can do that, I'll be impressed. That's the raycast. It's like saying, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, I think like in a way we need to detect that. I think going down it is good, but it's pretty weird. Like, it looks like
It's like that's the thing. It's good, but it's like
it's good, but it's not good enough
that
just
jumpy. It's
use
like it's not really. It's good, but not there, because it's just not realistic that the way your hips and body just move, like boom, boom, boom.
Like, isn't that we can play with? Well, first we can play with the constraints of the minis, right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like, there it shouldn't be that much. Right? Yeah. Can we play with the leaning forward and backward? I think that is.
So
the lean.
If we add a lean to both nodes, let's see here how it's going to look.
Yeah, it's still like.
I don't really feel much of a lean.
Anything, right?
I don't really feel much of a lean at all.
No. What are the settings there?
Lean.
Uphill, downhill, side. What is counter lean? If it's already uphill and downhill, the head.
So it's like, I think that means if it's going uphill, it will like lean in the opposite direction. So let's see. So counter lean's already on.
I saw it before. Yeah, in the locomotion was already on there.
Yeah. So do you see how the head looks down?
Yeah, that looks down.
So when it's going up,
and now it looks
up.
up. That was quite wild.
That's actually quite good. Yeah. To see. Oh.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
That's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
That's actually.
It's a bit too slow and a little bit like it's very worried.
But that's still kind of cool. I'm actually
it's nice. Yeah.
And he like leads to the side, or like the way in which he's gonna go. That's quite cool. There's just so many features to it. There's a lot of experimentation here.
So like when it goes downhill, can we put like a lot of lean forward? Does it go only 0-1?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And how much was before? I think like actually when it's stationary, it shouldn't lean, right? Because it should just keep straight, right? Well, or mostly straight.
I think let's see, because I don't know, because maybe you might need to lean to be able to keep balance.
Yeah, but not as you walk, right?
Walk,
I
yeah.
don't know.
So let's see here. Do you
It's
see?
like
I don't
I don't
see
see
any.
any. In fact, I see the reverse, right?
Yeah.
Why does it lean backward when it's going up? Shouldn't lean forward.
Oh yeah, it says amount to lean backwards when going downhill. Ah, you want it there. Yeah. So if it's 1, it means it's gonna lean backwards when going downhill. Whereas if it's
Right,
-1,
okay, yeah.
it'll lean forward, which makes no sense to me. But okay.
Yeah, no, I guess that sometimes you want to lean backward when you're going down if it's very, very steep.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't want to roll
Roll
down.
down.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that really depends by the style.
I still don't see a difference here.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Obviously, no. I'm just gonna reset that to default.
Yeah, and uphill, it's the same thing.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna get another line and graph up. Have these two states side by side. So just change it.
Side lean, side heel. What is side heel?
I think when you're walking up, like you move up the side with like you're facing the opposite direction and your legs like to your side. I think that's how much you lean. So here.
Ah, right. I want sideways. Yeah, can we try? What did move root did? I'm worried that move root will interfere with the motion capture. Let's try. Yeah, it looks pretty bad now. Right?
Oh, do you know what it is? Move root. Yeah, it like moves up. It actually moves the pelvis up itself, like as you go up the hill. So like I don't know if you noticed, but he's actually higher up, so there's less bend in his knees because the pelvis is
Right.
moved up. So it's almost like you stand up straighter.
But I see very, very glitchy now, right? Well, much. It's not
Yeah,
at all.
yeah, no, that switch isn't very. Joint limits. Ah. Rotation limits for certain joints. So this determines how stiff the joint is. So really, I mean, if we're gonna have this consistent ground IK, we would have to probably set up bones to exclude. And oh, so here these are bones we don't want to include in the IK.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like we'd have to go through these and really like set up constraints for different bones that we'd actually like. I need this bone to be blah blah. I need that to be there. I want this bone to be a bit stiffer. So if we had, so let's set up a few. So if we do, let's do the knee. So that'd be calf. Okay, and we
How do you set the limits?
so that's just the stiffness. So let's say we want to stiff. I have no clue what 10 will be regardless of to stiffness, but we'll go 10.
I thought that was the limiting angles, right? But how do we connect the control a rig into the full IK solver? Because definitely we need the rig, right?
What does the rig do? The rig is the range of movement. Is that what it is?
Yeah, just a set of rules that says what, how
The
the
body can
skeleton
move.
can
Oh, okay.
bend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's very complex. I mean, a full body rig is quite complex because
Yeah.
the amount of combination of like the shoulder can rotate only if the upper arm is blah blah blah. Yeah. Yeah, it is like, why does it look a lot worse than before?
Let's just say. So this knee can only rotate 1 centimeter.
The problem with that is that
Oh
we
no, it
are.
rotates inwards now. Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, now
The,
the knee can rotate in.
the problem with that is that now we're doing it all the time, right? I mean, even in the motion capture.
Yeah.
No, actually, you shouldn't do it, but no, you should do only if it's.
Don't like that.
Yeah, let's save this.
Save
I think
this.
this is like a decent try.
Yeah, I mean, at least now I think it's reinforced like the idea of like we do the IK when we're on contact, where we are colliding when that offset is 0 or the offset is very small, or whatever. That's when the IK is done, and so we've got the ground node. I think you're right. I think now we don't really want to be pulling the bones. Like it's causing it to the animations are all very jittery. Do you see? I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, I can see it's
The
not
feet
fluid as
aren't on the
before.
floor
Yeah.
properly. Yeah, like it kind of like twists the feet really weird, and we already have a perfect Josh running. We have a perfect running, and the feet. Yeah, if we really have collisions with the mesh and the floor. But for here, perhaps it would actually be good because for here, in order to slope, it would be useful to have IK, and if we then had the mocap for when we're walking up a hill, because that's obviously we're gonna match to an animation, but we need. That's quite cool. So let's try. Yeah, the raycast is way too big.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah, the thing that I don't like about the stairs is like, it's that.
It doesn't take a step. It takes like 10.
Yeah.
And it kind of like slides through.
Yeah, actually, the stairs are horrible.
Yeah, it goes through the stairs, and then pops up on top.
You know when you say 300, like the blending time, what the thing was. I think that needs to be a lot lower, right? Because I really don't like the fact that it's like slowly going through things. Yeah, that one. Fit data smooth. I think that basically that needs to be low, and we need to add more iteration, which is gonna be more intensive on the CPU. But actually, can we try to have it like, I don't know, a very low number there, like I don't know, 20 or something, and see if the animation are gonna be very very.
I think
jittery, but
I think the higher the number, the faster it is.
But at least it will correctly go up and down the stairs, I would guess.
I actually think that variable works vice versa. I think the higher the number, the faster.
Oh, the higher. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah.
So here, yeah, it does. It moves out really, really slowly.
Yeah, okay, okay.
But again, the problem we have with how we've done it at the moment is this one node. So if we go 500, this one node handles all the you are 100% right in everything you said about we can't do this all the time, because since this one node, we want to have this node handle the idle or handle the pose matching. Like all the offsets are applied to this, whereas like for the different animations, the offsets will be different, if that makes sense. Like, so we have this singular, like how high we want to lift the foot off the ground and everything, because we're constantly changing the pose in which we're mashing to. That's why
Yeah.
we have different, like, so it's weirdly lifted. But anyway, let me change this to, let's see what this 500. 500 as well. Yeah, it's a lot quicker. Bang, bang. It's really jumpy now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that doesn't look.
Yeah, it looks horrible, but yeah.
I think you might. If we go back to 300. You might need to trace this,
Okay.
so it can't collide with the wall. So that means it can't like collide when going forward.
Oh,
So here,
yeah. That's
if we try and walk into this, I think it will push the feet away. Yeah, so we probably need even a greater offset here. But so now the foot shouldn't be able to go through the. Yeah, you see the foot can't go through the. No, it still goes through. No, so that doesn't affect that. Or if we try and collide with the wall.
Yeah, but what does he?
Yeah, push. Do you see like it like kicks the foot back?
All right.
No, but it still goes through. So that doesn't even make a difference.
Okay, that's quite interesting. It's not totally wrong.
Put back to default for now.
Why is the flag oriented to the ground? In TypeScript, no, we don't want that.
No, yeah.
Like if you go down, there is like number of iteration or something like that. Right? Yeah, number of iteration to stretching points. Stretching points. Like, can we have a very big? What is that? A low bone?
So I think there's a lot. Yeah, they're actually allowed to move the bone based on the input pose.
All that. Yeah, can we have like double this iterations there and see what happens?
For
Probably gonna be,
all of them,
yeah,
yeah.
all of them, yeah. Maybe it's gonna be too slow, but it's too. Ooh,
Oof.
what is it?
That doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, it's a shame that there is no collision on the. I mean, we can do it, but yeah, it's
I think we would be better off having less of a trace, and instead motion, like having IK. So say we were like, because I think motion matching is just 100,000 times smoother when we just use the motion matched animations. Um, so I think, but if we had IK, say we knew moving up the stairs, but with like a similar, that's not as big ray trace. Um, but then we had the motion matched animations, it would match to the best, and we like went into like we had for them climbing up the stairs, walking downstairs, all that in mocap data. This would match to the best animation. So him walking down the stairs, him walking up the stairs, turning on turning on the staircase, and then
yeah,
we do IK, but only slightly on the feet to just bring it down to just like when we're on a staircase, like there's not going to be any staircase that's absolutely like you're not going to be because if you're not going to IK like that distance, you know what I mean? Like the
yeah,
ray trace at most we need is gonna, like, even at this point you should fall over, like that's
yeah,
ridiculous.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
like you need like
Before,
a
yeah,
30 centimeter ray trace, like here.
yeah,
Okay, fine, you could probably get away with that.
yeah.
Here you'd you'd fall over. That's ridiculous. Let's be honest. You know, your leg, you'd be unbalanced at this point. So here, like you literally like a 30 centimeter ray trace, and then you do IK from that point,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
and then we just a much smaller IK, and we're using the walking stairs animation. So this would be slower. So the steps would be a lot shorter rather than this big old stride. Um, and yeah, so the steps would be shorter. The poses would be way more accurate. And then the IK, all we're going to use it to do is just make sure that the foot lands on the step each time we take a step, and it's just a bit more correct, so that we know we're stepping on the right surface.
yeah. Let's try to put that distance to 30 instead of 200. No, how many we got now?
Yeah, it's like 200.
Yeah, let's do it to 30. I mean, up, yeah, 30 up and 30 down. I think, yeah, yeah, makes sense.
Well, this could depend. So it's like we can change. These could be different. Because you might be able to step up higher than you are to drop
Yeah.
down.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, that's. Oh, we don't have collision on this mesh. Oh, we need to enable collision here, no?
no, there is collisions because that's why the character can walk on it.
But like if you jump through it, I think you can jump through it, right? Yeah, I think we need to enable collision for this mesh. I think. Why is it doing this crazy thing?
No, we can't jump through.
Oh yeah, because we're flying. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these meshes don't have
Don't have
collision.
collisions.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. That would make. So this doesn't even have any collisions on it.
Yeah, I think so.
Hold on, what do I add collisions? How do I even add a collision here? What is this? It's a cube. Oh, it's a box brush. I see. Well, let me
Yeah,
just.
you can have a collision on that one as well. You can
What do I add collision here? Let's see.
um what is it? No, it's doesn't have a child, which is like a static mesh, or you need to create one. Hmm. Oh yeah, like this guy, world degree geometry. This is the guy that has that needs to have the collision, right?
I don't have no clue. Because this is just a brush, yeah, it's not a static mesh actor.
No, okay, let's have a cube then. Yeah, a normal
I'm
cube. Yeah,
literally just gonna
yeah, exactly.
bring this across here. Rotate this. Make it massive. I'll rotate it a little bit more to be fair. That's probably why the foot was going through the. Okay, the plant looks 10 times better. No, the foot can't plant. But you see, this is the thing. It goes to walk forward, but sort of kicks the foot and then it glitches up. Like,
Yeah,
you see me? Like, it
yeah,
goes to.
exactly.
Like, we remove the foot, and removing the foot kind of disables the IK, and then it makes it look. And then we go into the motion match foot. But then that back to the IK is not a smooth transition at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't understand why he has that bit in which is one foot is in the middle of the head. Like there is a bit in which the foot stays off the ground. Is it like yeah there? Why does he do that? What is this crazy thing?
If I increase the trace, just back to 200 for now. Okay, yeah, it doesn't do that anymore. Yeah, that was the trace distance. It probably reached the point. What it probably was. Yeah. The reason why I was doing it is because the trace distance was greater, was less than what, like it didn't return, like it didn't return a hit, because it was only 30. So it didn't actually need, the IK was not telling it to pull the foot down to the ground.
Oh, and then
I
the
think
next frame it,
the next frame it moved a little bit, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
pull the foot down now.
yeah.
See that again? That's another thing that's going to affect the smoothness, because if you have things of steps of different heights, it means that your IK trace would have to be big enough to cover your biggest height. But then that would mean your trace is
Yeah.
longer than you'd want for smaller steps. and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need the mocap for when he's walking up and down stuff, when they're walking up and down things, and then we also need then we need to trigger the IK at the right times.
Is the trajectory in 3D on the motion matching?
Um. Ooh. This isn't it. I, I don't I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is.
Yes, probably not, right?
Probably not.
But in that case, we just need to rely on the like the sort of like the pose matching phase, because we need just to rely on where the bones are, right?
Yeah. Like we can almost say like if you're in run locomotion and your Z is like if you're in the walk or run locomotion and your Z is greater than the hip height, or the pelvis location is greater than whatever, then that means you're probably the thinking about it, the trajectory doesn't work on 3D. It doesn't have, because whenever we jump it goes off. But
Yeah.
could we do like if your Z of the actor or the socket is greater than 0, so the root Z is greater than 0, that means okay, we are no longer on the ground. You now want to IK the feet if we're not, like if we're still in the idle, or we're still in the, or if we're now in the walk or run locomotion. So if we're walking but our Z is higher than the ground, that means we're probably walking on an object. Oh, but then we need to be. It depends what
Yeah,
object, but that would
but
depend on
then
what object we're colliding with. Yeah.
you cannot walk like if you walk flat on the first floor, then you're always above the ground. Right?
Always. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more like if your trajectory is going up and down rather than
Yeah.
the absolute value of the set. Well, but let's check this stuff
Check it.
in,
Yeah.
because we can start playing with that. Yeah, it's not there yet, but
No.
it's got something that works very well. So I think it will be a case of trying to isolate when it works well.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Okay. Cool. I'll check this in. Oh my.
Yeah, yeah, save all.
Save. Oh yeah. Just make sure I'm not destroyed it. Okay. Okay. And then okay, cool. Should we leave it like this at the moment with
Yeah,
match pose, because it's actually quite good. Yeah, I quite like it. Like down with it, so that's fine. Yeah, there's a lot to experiment there.
yeah. It's like to do things. Yeah, I'm gonna play with it just a little bit before I go to bed, and then yeah, we'll start tomorrow morning. It's very late as well.
Oh yeah, it's too early. Kind of forgot. And we'll say this is IK. IK. Should I say for IK? Can't spell. Okay. Footic. Nah, yo, let's say IK in general. IK looks better. IK. Awesome. So that's pushed now.
Nice one. Super, dude.
Awesome. I'll end this
Yeah,
here then.
yeah. Listen to this, and I think like we could publish it into 3 episodes, right? This far, right?